but where's the money though? Because they got up, okay.
Igbo girl.
Right? No, let me land though. Yes, Igbo girl, I'm really proud.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because the guy got up one day, entered this one, flew to here, I'm like, with which money? Sir, with which money? Ma, do you understand? She went somewhere, she bought this dress, we did this one, we did that. Which money? What's up, world? You are welcome to Nestle, and today we have our guest, Deepo, and he's coming around again too because we wanted to just discuss a bit about romance. And the topic today is about how the romance genre could be ruining your relationship. From reading the Bridgerton series here in Nestle, I went through 9 books. I just got myself exposed and immersed into this romance genre and how beautiful it is. It is fun, it is wonderful, it is fantastic, but it is highly, highly unrealistic. And what jumped out to me is how a lot of things that people have talked about, ideas that people have held on to concerning relationships, how they've held on to it, and I realized that these ideals came from books. And they could be ruining your real life relationship. These ideas, what are they called? Expectations, all those kind of things. So basically that's why he's here. He's here because when was it that you read the romance novels?
My teens, I guess.
Yes, in his teen years he read, so he falls into the category of people that read a lot of romance back in teenage years. I didn't, and I just read the few guys that
did.
It
was basically girls that did that, so I would hide and
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I went to a girls' school, so I knew all the girls used to read it. I didn't know guys.
Guys did not. Boys did not. Certainly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I read everything I would come across. So romance was one of those things. And I had a lot of sisters, so.
Okay, yeah, your sisters had some.
A whole lot.
Okay, well, so that's pretty much it. So we just wanted to point out a few things here to be careful with. When you think about your relationship, you have to. It's like it might be a bit of mind work. Figure out why this is so important to you, and then realize it's actually that important to your relationship, because in the end you want to have a beautiful, wholesome, lovely relationship, not based upon this book. So
all right, so the first thing I think I want to point out is in fact this starts way before romance. Even fantasy, as in reading children's books, the books always end with "and they lived happily ever after."
Yeah.
So there's this idea that boy meets girl, they fall in love, they get married, and they live happily ever after. Mm-hmm. So there's so much that goes in between that, yes. But it just doesn't happen that way.
Happily ever after is usually an incomplete story.
Yep.
Because the happily ever after, forever is a very long time. So it's like from when they met, maybe the book ends when they are 20. And then they have another 70 or 60 or 50 years to go. Mm-hmm. But they just tell you they live happily ever after. You don't know what happened in between all that.
They don't want you to know what happened. All they're saying is it was well with them, and they're telling a story.
And this happens in all the books. At least this 9 I read, that was the conversation. Every single person ended their life beautifully years down the line. So a lot of all the pockets of things that can happen in life did not seem to be even mentioned. It's not realistic, yes. So I feel like if you implement this in your real life, thinking that it will just be smooth sailing, nothing's gonna happen, you would be disappointed, because life is what it is. Things will happen.
Life happens.
Yes, life will happen. So another one I'd like to point out is the idea of chemistry is equals to love. Honestly, he was one that corrected my English to chemistry. What I wanted to write was good sex is equals to love, because a lot of the books I read just now is like guy meets this girl and there's like this instant desire, instant attraction, oh my god, and 1 or 2 chapters that I cannot live without her, and next thing, love. Do you understand? In fact, the love usually does tend to show up just after they've had the sex or just before they had the sex. Yeah, so like sex comes up, it's like, oh, it's beautiful, the best ever. Meanwhile, this guy has been hopping up and down town since morning. That's another theory. I'm going to get into that in a minute. The guy has been hopping up and down theory since morning. Do you understand? And this girl is this beautiful girl that has basically kept herself, and then she meets this guy, and fireworks, birds fly, opera sings, and it's beautiful. That theory is very, very, very faulty. And why this one points to me a lot is when I start talking to a lot of people more about relationships, you start hearing people saying things like how will I know if when I talk a bit about waiting to be sexually intimate with someone till you get married. Honestly, that's a personal preference, but for me, that's just this. So when I talk to people, they don't say, but how will you know if you're sexually compatible? Whether you're willing to believe it or not, right? Sex actually doesn't hold as much water as you might think it does in the marriage. Hear me out. Don't crucify me. No, it's true. Don't crucify me. The thing is that there are other major issues that happen in relationships. While having a daughter, I had a heart failure. What was sex going to do to solve that problem? Nothing. Do you understand? Being married to him, he lost his mom, he lost his dad. What was sex going to? I don't know if you understand. There are things that are going to come into your marriage that suddenly sex might not even be that important. It happens. You hear married people that tell you that they don't have sex now, and they're not quarreling. They are fine. Do you understand? So you understand that that theory about the sexual compatibility. And then another thing is that I think where it hits me the most is that I believe that sex can be worked on. Bad sex is like being bad in math. You can actually practice until you get better at it.
Being a bad cook.
Be a bad cook, thank you. I couldn't cook when I got married. But practice in my mind, I can actually tell myself and say I'm okay cooking now. So that's the same thing with sex. So, but when it comes to things like value, things like discipline, things like amazing leadership, being an amazing father, being an amazing mom, considering you first, can those things really be taught? So if you really wanted to put it on the grand scale of things that matter, are you sure sex is what you want to put on top? So that theory, the energy, the magnets, you saw the person, you cannot live without the person. Yeah, and it's equal to I must love the person. Don't do it. It happens a lot in every single book I read had the same story. Don't do it.
Yeah. Okay, I think a good addendum to that it's relationships are greatly glamorized. And I think we just came out from the vows season, so it's that thing. Oh God, when will this happen to me? Oh, when? God, and you realize that what they are really saying is that they see this perfect picture. Okay, somebody may be looking at us now and say, oh my God, this is such a lovely looking couple. Oh, they think it's all good. We have, in my opinion, a fantastic relationship, but it takes a lot of work. It's not what makeup will fix or something, or just it takes work. It takes sitting down, listening, and all. They don't tell you all those things in romance novels and in articles that you read, and all those things, or films that you watch, romantic movies. It's just about boy meets girl, they meet somewhere. A very interesting scenario is where let's say in high school or something, or in college, they are holding books, and then somebody knocks the other's books up, and then they pick it up, and then they look up, and not at first sight. It's funny, but that's what it's about. So it glamorizes the whole thing. It doesn't talk about the issues that you face. It doesn't talk about what your family is like. It doesn't talk about sometimes people break up and then they come back together. For the sake of drama, because it's a story, they include some of those things. Okay, so at some point everything seems to be going well, and then something happens. Oh God, I can't be with this person, and then it comes dipping down. And then eventually they work it out, and then it comes back up again, and then they live happily ever after.
Yeah.
It's all glamorized. That's my point.
Yeah, it's true. Another point I wanted to make actually has to do with the male characters. I don't know if that's with all the books that you read. The male characters are usually very shitty. Does that make any sense? That theory comes with, a lot of times you hear people say things like how girls like the bad boys. That theory, I suspect that might actually be responsible for that. Honestly, I could be wrong, but that theory of this guy, he's this thing, he's doing this one, he's mean. In fact, the first time they meet, they might actually be mean. But meanwhile, at the end of the book, the guy will say at the beginning of this chapter, I actually fell in love with you. That time when I told you you're a stupid girl and idiot, I was in love with you. It's true. Because you hear the guy say, oh, the first time I laid eyes on you, I fell in love with you. I'm sorry. The first time you met her, you almost shoved the girl into the gutter. What are you talking about? Wow. You get. So it's just a very strange theory. But it's like, this guy is mean, he's horrible in general, he has a reputation of being a certain kind of person. Then suddenly, because of love has fixed the person. The person falls in love with you, and suddenly the person is attentive to all your needs, all your wants. When you're upset about something, you're trying to cover it, the guy looks at you and he can tell that something is wrong and he has to fix it. So he jumps out, and it's a problem.
Reads your mind.
Yeah, mind reading. Yeah, it's very it's problematic. It's very problematic. I imagine a girl, and that I've heard people complain of
should
this.
know.
They say he should know when I'm not happy and I frown my face, and the guy should know that something is wrong. Come on, look, I'm not going to say the man shouldn't do, but I'm just saying that it's too much of an expectation that you think the person will be able to understand what's happening in your mind, know what they even did wrong, and then be able to fix it before you even open your mouth and talk about it. These things happen a lot in the book.
Yeah.
Just by looking at you, I noticed that your face fell when we're talking that meeting with 500 people. And I said, I noticed that you did not like that statement. I am sorry. How is he supposed to? Like, seriously, think about it. He's not a magician.
Yeah.
It's not good. So, like, the whole being able to read, the body reading. Now, I do believe that some people are blessed with that.
Yeah, sensitivity.
Yes. He said, but the thing is that people that I believe that are blessed with that are people that have been together for a while. It's from getting to know somebody.
It's a deliberate thing.
Yeah, it's from getting to know somebody. It's from being around somebody long enough that you know that they suddenly just, the way they look at someone and say, oh, she's angry, she's about to talk, please don't talk. Do you understand? It comes from knowing the person, because you see the person do that once or twice and you saw the after effect. So you're like, may this not happen in Jesus' name. So you're praying at this point, but this happens from knowing someone. It's not just you met somebody today and because person has fallen in love with you, suddenly everything has just arranged.
Finish off your sentences.
Everything has happened. It's very, very problematic. Honestly, no.
Yeah. So just to mention, you talked about the guys, the male characters. I think it's just it's the way the world has been structured. A lot of people talk about the patriarchy or stuff like that. The truth of the matter is that the world is run by men.
Yes.
The rules have been written by men. And we are at a time where we're talking about equality, we're talking about feminism. People don't like to hear stuff like that. But the truth of the matter is that those rules have to be rewritten. Where from guys or from boys, let's start from the boy child. Boys are not really not much is expected from a boy. Do well in school and all of that, but in terms of manners, maybe not so much. When it comes to the opposite sex, you are made to believe that girls are there at your disposal anyway, one way or the other. So there's also this feeling of how a man is supposed to be. So yes, a man should have slept with all the girls possible. That makes him a real man.
I read 9 books. It's only one guy that had not slept around. Every other person had been jumping up and down the whole city.
Look at the movies, look at all those things.
The
girl is supposed to keep herself.
I'm like, I'm not understanding. Why these guys doing one will jump up and down and the girls are sitting there?
If you're a guy out there and you think that's the way to make yourself,
do you?
I feel like it's just not true. It's false. There's no point beating about the bush. It's wrong. It needs to be changed, but that's what we get.
Yes. Next point.
Okay, so I think another thing is that it creates false expectations. These books, these romance novels, that mostly on the side of the girls now, because they are the ones that read, like I said, that read these novels in the first place. Guys, okay, you watch even the movies, the chick flicks as we like to call them. Guys don't like those things. Okay, maybe because your girlfriend wants to watch it or something, your wife wants to watch it. Okay, so you will watch it, but you're not that into it. But the girl is holding on to every line that was said, and in her mind, oh, this is how a guy should treat a girl. These are the things that also it leads to false expectations. You expect the guy to be a particular way, you expect the guy to be tall, to look a certain way, to sound a certain way. His voice should, reverberate in a room. And he should.
As if God didn't make other people.
Exactly, and he's that knight in shining armor. So what happens to all the short guys? What happens to the not so good looking guys? Exactly, that doesn't change. God made everyone. And there are so many qualities that the guys that you would generally overlook because and vice versa, women as well. But it just creates false expectations. For the women, I think, or for the guys, it may create the expectation of expecting women to look a certain way. Oh, very dainty. Oh, very fragile.
Fragile. Their voices have to be like very almost childlike.
Yes.
You understand?
So what happens to the girls with deep voices?
Right? People like us that like to raise voice and shout like we're doing cheerleading.
What happens to the to the not so slim ones.
Yeah.
What happened to the robots?
The tall person.
Yeah.
I'm 6'1".
Mhm.
You know, there are people that are 6'3". Does that mean that's, you know, so just let's look beyond the physical. I think that's what this sounds like. This expectation one.
Well, yeah.
The physical, a lot of
Not
times.
just physical. Yeah.
Physical tends to make people assume that this is what the person should be based upon their physical. So yeah.
So really deceived.
Yes. So the next one is a very important one: finance. In none of this book they talk about money. In none of this book did they talk about money. They talk about work, which is interesting. So just imagine, like in a modern day, they can talk about, okay, this girl gets a partnership in a company, and she comes there for the first time, and she sees the boss and falls in love with the boss. I did that money matter don't end.
Yeah, but isn't it assumed that okay? So I mean, it's a company. The girl's a partner, so they both have money. So you know, it's assumed that the money aspect is taken care of.
Can you see why this guy raised as a teenager? That's what you're saying now sounds like. Are you for real?
No, I'm saying that's what the books create. So they feel, or okay, there are scenarios where maybe one partner doesn't have so much money, or they both don't have money. That's so, but they don't talk about the real issues that having the money or not having the money will bring up, like it would in real life.
Yes, honestly, that's it. I'm like, you know what this? I'm like, but where's the money though? They go because they're like, they got up, okay.
Igbo girl.
Right? No, let me land though. Yes, Igbo girl, I'm not yet proud.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Because here the guy got up one day, entered this one, flew to here. I'm like, with which money, sir? With which money, ma? Do you understand? She went somewhere, she bought this dress. We did this one, we did that. Which money? Where is the money at?
Too money conscious.
Sis, I mean, bro, call it anything. I don't even understand it. Where is the money? So it's like, in reality, there is money to consider. The world we live in now, I won't say it's run by money, but money helps you get things to happen. Do you understand? Look, do not be deceived, okay? You love each other as much as you do. It is beautiful, but love is not going to pay them school fees when those children show up. And those children will show up. Do you understand? The love is not going to pay for the hospital bills when they need to be paid. When somebody is not feeling well, Lord, you need the money.
No so romance without finance.
Right? No romance without finance. So like, but in these books, no, I'm telling you.
Boy, okay, let's look at, let's say, the historical ones, for instance. Okay, like you just finished Bridgerton.
Yes,
like
yes.
Historical romance. They're talking about people in a certain era. Yes, they mentioned money, maybe some other characters,
the
but
family had a lot of
exactly.
Money. Yes.
So some of those things. So in terms of, okay, so the girl needs to buy dresses. Maybe she has like 12 balls that she's going to attend this season. It's not a problem because her family can afford it.
How can a family afford it?
Because they're rich, very rich.
Honestly, it was hard for me to wrap my head around that. I just kept on like, where is the money? And honestly, but I haven't read a lot of the modern ones. I don't know how much that changes or not. But it's like a lot of these things, it doesn't compute in my head. So that money part that's the part that they skip in your head. So it's like the theory that, oh, he should be able to do this thing or she should be able to do this thing. You haven't considered that there's money involved. Romance, from what we're gathering from our 2021 being more romantic with each other, is a lot of money. It's a lot. You have to spend money, you know. Of course, you can do the whole, but the thing is that for you to do all the whole blowouts, pigeons flying somewhere, someone came on a horse and flew from somewhere to somewhere, it's money that paid for those things. So, you know, just bear in mind. Do you understand? Money is involved. Don't let the books fool you, you know, into thinking money is involved. So yeah, that concludes our talk for today. I hope that this is helpful, and the idea is just to get you to a point where hopefully you can do a mind check, things that you have considered very important, whether you're in a relationship or you're looking to be in a relationship and you have some ideas. You're like, no, he cannot be this, she cannot be that, she must be this. Be sure where that theory is coming from, then see whether you should go ahead or not, whether it's important to hold on to it or not. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.